when you fully reflect on 2020, it doesn't surprise me that we have this level of inflammatory discussion, people talking past each other, and just the performative communication, everything. It doesn't surprise me.
It was a long time coming. The Twitter stuff I find really interesting because it's how it's affecting the media class. There was a leaked memo from the Daily Beast where the high ups were trying to. They were forbidding the use of Twitter during office hours because they felt that Twitter, and it's just, I think broadly accurate, that Twitter itself is actually doing damage to the journalistic profession. Because all the journalists on Twitter, and fake news is being widely perpetrated by it. Like, for example, when the football lads went to defend the statue of Churchill, the fake news surrounding this and the misinformation surrounding this is quite staggering. The claim that they're Nazis is not true, and the proof of this is in the fact that we're protesting against a statue of Winston Churchill being damaged. Gary Lineker, or some of the famous footballers tweeted out going, "Why are these Nazis trying to save a statue of Winston Churchill?" It's like, well, that's the very fact that you're asking the question means you need to do more research, doesn't it, Gary? You should have looked in this and go, okay, well, hang on, are these Nazis? And then you go, oh no, they're doing Nazi salutes, and it's because there was a side-on picture, and you could see people putting up their hands, both hands, like this. Because they do this clap chant in the thing, and they were chanting England. But from the side, you can see how that might look like a Nazi salute. But that was, and even people like Julia Hartley-Brewer were repeating this. And then there was another fake bit of footage where someone had imposed over them the audio of some white nationalist or National Front protest from 2017, where they're chanting "We're racist and we like it," and this was again repeated everywhere on the radio, on LBC. I heard all of it, and it's like that wasn't true. The football lads. There are many failings, again, like with Donald Trump. Many ethical failings of what they've done. However, they aren't Nazis. They are actually kind of the post-World War II British patriots. They firmly believe that Britain's role in the war was a good thing. They firmly believe in Winston Churchill's leadership, and they firmly believe in the narrative that we were on the side of right and not on the side of the Nazis. And yet they're there, oh, look at these Nazis. I mean, what we can do,
Did you see the map of voters in the UK that was shared just after the general election, and it had who voted by age, and it went hyper viral on Facebook. Yeah. And it basically showed that the implication was old people voted Conservative. That's how Boris got in power. Did you see this?
Yes.
That became not only something that people thought, but fully believed. It was straight fact. And it was a map taken from 2017, 2016, I think.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
See, it's amazing how this stuff goes viral and then creates the fake news.
But it's just some guy, some fella, or some girl from Bristol or Wigan or
just made it up.
Salford, and it was a fact, but not in this particular circumstance. Yeah. But again, the fact that is the way that the culture develops now should terrify everybody, no matter what side you're coming from.
Yeah. So social media has been a curse that we weren't ready for. And I mean, it's probable that something similar to the effect that we're seeing now would have happened given enough time. I think it's probably inevitable. Given the philosophies and them percolating through the culture, it probably would have done. But I think social media is just essentially an accelerating factor that's just got everything to go so much faster. And there was a study that showed that Twitter activates the same parts of the brain as being in a fight. So when you get on Twitter, you're in fight mode. Oh no, totally. You might not be moving, but your heart's pumping, your adrenaline's going, and your brain is as you're arguing with someone on Twitter, you may as well be going and have a fight with that person. So it's okay, you're essentially stepping into the world's largest fight club when you log into Twitter, and get ready to get punched, because everyone gets punched on Twitter. You know what I mean? And so it's not good.
So what do we do, man?
The problem is that the interpretation of the facts diverging is fine. Everyone expects a divergent view of the interpretation of the facts. But because people are sat in their online echo chambers, and there can't really be any other way of doing this apart from having it so that you don't get to choose what you follow. Because when people get to choose what they follow the things that they like, and that means they only get that perspective, one view. And so it was that there was a plurality of opinions on the same facts. But now there is not. There's divergent facts for each side. And I really wish when Kellyanne Conway said, "Oh, there are alternative facts," and it was like, "Ha ha, there's no such thing as alternative facts." Like, yeah, there are. There are facts you're not listening to. You're not paying attention to. Like, despite being 13%, that's a fact that you didn't want to mention. It's an alternative fact. It's still real, and yet you leave it out of the narrative. And so it's now at the point where we don't even agree the same things happened. The London bubble is like, oh, well, there were Nazi salutes. People with video cameras didn't capture any Nazi salutes. These people do not profess to be Nazis and they wish to defend Winston Churchill. What do we do?